All right, guys, and welcome to the Stories from the Remnant podcast. I'm your host, Tanner. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Brother Jeremy.
And we look forward to telling you some stories and telling you a little bit about what our podcast is about and just seeing where this first episode goes. So I hope you enjoy it, and please like, follow, and share. All right, so once again, we thank you for joining us for the Stories from the Remnant podcast. Again, I'm your host, Tanner Cahoe, and this is our co-host, Pastor Jeremy Wilson. So, a little bit about ourselves. We are here at Remnant Church in Cave City, Kentucky. I'm the youth pastor here, and he is the pastor here at Remnant Church. So, I guess we'll just start out right from the beginning. So, what made us decide to even start Stories from the Remnant?
Well, I think most importantly, just we've got so many wonderful people part of our church with testimonies, and just another area of our ministry that we can get out and talk about what we've been through. I've been preaching for 20 plus years, and he's been in church his whole life, and I have too, being a pastor's kid. So there's a lot of things that we have seen. There'll be some funny stories. There'll be some not so funny stories. There'll be some good testimonies on here, and we've got so many people that's been through the fire, been tested, and their face been pushed to the brink, but they've stood, and we're super excited to getting them here to be a part of what we're doing here. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess what I'm looking forward to the most about this podcast is quite simple. I mean, I sit down and we have different meals and stuff at church, and you hear these different stories from church stories back in the day, or different testimonies, and I mean, they've always witnessed to me and spoke to me, and I've always laughed at the stories, and I just think it's good if, multiple people could hear that, because I know it'd be good for the heart. And also for me, like, I listen to podcasts all the time, so when I'm at work and I'm doing something where I have time to, listen to a podcast, I can, throw some AirPods in and get to listening, and I'm sure that other people do that too. And now, the way we're seeing things today, it's hard to find good, wholesome Christian stuff to listen to, so I'm looking forward to giving the audience that. So let's get right into it. So what does the remnant mean? I mean, we're Remnant Church. People probably see that and don't really think about what it means. So what does the remnant mean?
Well, the Lord gave us that. We was really thinking about, changing the name of the church and stuff, and was really seeking God. And anytime you name a church, there's a lot of significance. As you learn in the Bible, there's a lot of significance with names. And Remnant just felt so impressed on us, so strong. And I know Romans 11:5 talks about how the remnant of people chosen. There's several scriptures in there, but we're a remnant of people, of believers that's looking forward to His return, His coming, and we're a remnant of people that loves our community, loves the ministry. He's got a heart for young folks, got a heart for not so young folks. We got a heart for all, and that's just kind of how that was birthed in our spirit. And I was standing in my living room, and that word come to me, and I knew immediately. Didn't have to think about it. I knew immediately that's what our name was going to be.
So let's get right into some storytelling. I don't have much I can add to that. I mean, it's a powerful story. I remember whenever we were first going through that name change, and I'm sure there were some people that probably didn't know why we done it, but I mean, that testimony right there speaks for itself. So let's get into it about how we got into ministry. I mean, I've been in church my whole life. You've been in church your whole life. But let's let the audience know, like, how we even know each other. So, like, I mean, you changed my diapers when I was a kid. So, I mean, we can get into that and just how we got into ministry to begin with.
I don't want to get into his diapers, no. So, yeah, I've been raised in church my whole life. I was a pastor's kid. Dad's still pastoring the church, so I've been in every revival, singing, whatever, you name it. I was in church every time the doors was open. So when, getting into ministry is something that I did not want to do at all. Me being a pastor now, I've often said, if you have heard me preach, I've often said that if you told me 7-8 years ago I'd be a pastor, I'd laughed at you. That's not what really I wanted to do. But God calls you into things, and You never know what he's going to call you into. It's the most, actually last Sunday I told church it's the hardest job I've ever had, but it's the most rewarding, and it's one job that I love. And I jokingly, I hope they didn't take offense, but I said, dealing with you all. So I meant that in a positive way. But yeah, that's kind of where I got into ministry.
Well, for me, my entire family has been in church. I mean, their entire lives. Now I grew up in church. And as far as the ministry goes, I mean, my grandpa was a minister. You're a minister. You pretty much helped raise me. And I think that people knew probably 3, 4, 5 years before I even got into ministry that I was called into that. And unlike what I should have done, I ran from that. And oftentimes I think about why I did that and how many people that I could have witnessed to in that 3 or 4 years that I didn't step into it. But I did, and like you said, I mean, something you didn't want to do, something you were afraid to do, something you were scared to do. And actually happened at one of the lowest points of my life, but I know that's what God was calling me to do. And when I stepped into that, my life changed for the better because I was obeying God and doing as He would have me to do. So that leads to a specific question of, when did you know God was calling you? Like, when did you know for sure that, hey, this is what He was calling you into?
It was early age. I preached my first message in April of 2001. The Lord had been dealing with me for quite some time. I'll tell you kind of how it took place. I had actually even called another minister. He's done, as we like to say, graduated, done gone home to be with Jesus. But he was a minister of the church at the time, and I called him and his wife over to, I wasn't married then. Me and Sister Renee was engaged at the time. But called him over to our little apartment there, and he counseled with us. And he knew, and of course, you know how everybody knows, like Brother Tanner, I knew before he ever... he's a little hard-headed, anybody that knows him. So before he even stepped into it, many of us knew. And I knew instantly I didn't need to call that preacher over. But it did help for him to talk to me, but I knew before he ever came in. But I went to, Brother Tanner said, at lowest point, I was much the same. We was engaged and everything was fine there. But I had actually wrecked a car and didn't have no transportation. I was having to work 3 different jobs at the time, barely making ends meet. The insurance was high. The only way I was really eating was my soon-to-be wife's grandparents lived next door. So it was not a good time in my life. And I'll tell you how God works. It was a Sunday night, and we having a service. It was at Slick Rock Church many years ago, 2001 again. 25 years ago, and we was having just a tear-down service Sunday night, and this lady, God moved through this lady. She prophesied that there's someone here that needs to do something. And we actually, youth at the time, I was fairly involved. I was 21, but I was still kind of involved with church, not as much as I used to be, but we was all on stage singing. And I remember taking a step out and say, it's me. That's about all I remember. That was a Sunday night. I was going to preach my first message Wednesday. Monday, the following, I got a call. I was working at Food Line down in Scottsville, Kentucky. Got a call from a district manager that I had never met in my life. Hadn't been there long. He didn't know me. I didn't know him, but he had heard about me, and he offered me a job on the phone Monday after to be an assistant manager, making more than I ever made. I got a car that Tuesday where I was in between cars driving my granny's old clunker. Barely would go down the road. All that happened in the span, and that's when you step into things of God, God's going to bless you. And what I had been running from all this time is what I really need to be running to. But when I did that, the chain of events, that was end of March. April 1st was when I got the call and got a car. April 3rd, I believe that my memory serves, it was the first Wednesday night in April. April 3rd, 2001, I preached my first message. Lasted about 8 or 9 minutes, which is fine. But and then 25 years later, been in ministry. There was a season where I wasn't. We'll maybe get in that one of these podcasts. But yeah, it's been pretty awesome. But that's how it all started for me.
Now, for the audience out there, yes, God is a just God. He's a forgiving God. He's an awesome God. But don't think he won't get your attention and, bring you down as low as you can go, as the old saying goes, to almost make it to where you have to step in your calling because you have nowhere else to go. Because it's crazy how similar our stories are when it comes to that. Because like I said, I was going through a rough patch in life. I was actually at your house whenever I announced my calling to preach, and I finally got to a point where I was so low, I just came to you and said, look, I've got to step into this calling. I'm called to preach. And I did it in an unconventional way. Made a long post on Facebook just, saying it out there. I'm preaching my first message this Wednesday night. I think it was like a Sunday or a Monday, and I preached 2 or 3 days later. Mm-hmm. And that was just a crazy thing. But like you said, it's almost like after I preached that first message, after I stepped out and done what God called me to do, things from there just started getting, way better. God's blessed me. I got 2 beautiful kids, a son and a daughter, a beautiful wife, and it's just crazy the blessings that God will, give you once you step out and work for Him and, work in His calling. So this leads to the big question: what is something you wish more people understood about church life? I know this can be a very open-ended, deep question. We can take it as far as we want to, but what's something you wish more people understood?
I think in the time that we are in today, for what I've seen, is I believe the most disheartening, whether you're a pastor or not, just a true believer, is the fact that if people understood that this life, Christianity, is not just attending a church service here and there or even on Sunday morning only. It's a 24/7, 365. So there's so many people, so many beliefs, and so many opinions out there that I believe in Jesus, I'm good. I got saved when I was a kid, I'm good. I attend church on Mother's Day and Easter and Christmas, Father's Day maybe, I'm good. It's much more of that. I think the biggest misconception that modern day church has is that a little dab of do you, and that's not. He's looking for a church of believers that's going to live for Him all the time. Are we perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I'll be the first to tell you. But a true believer is going to strive every day to get closer, to ask. This morning at literally at 1:50, I woke up. Don't know why. Didn't like it either, but woke up with just things on my mind. I always question God, especially being a pastor. Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decision? It's the weight of this can be taxing for sure, because you don't ever want to do anything that's out of the will of God, of course. When you're making decisions in church or even with personal things. And, it seems, this life that we choose to do, it's a life that's on a Monday morning at 1:50 and you're waking up with, it's 24/7, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm just so excited about what God's going to do, but I'm also just feel like the people need to realize it's more than just an occasion. It's a 2 o'clock in the morning and you're awake till 3 o'clock in the morning talking to God type relationship.
I think for me, the answer lies in the question, and it's what's something you wish more people understood about church life, and the answer there is church life. It's a way of life. Like you said, it's not just I'm going to come on Sunday morning, I'm going to come on Sunday night, I'm going to come on Wednesday night. Even if you come to church every single time the doors are open, you can do that and still not be following God the way you should, or even still not be a Christian for that matter. I've heard a minister here preach before that I can stand in the garage all night, but it doesn't make me a car. Mm-hmm. And that's no different than attending church. You can attend church all the time. You can be the best person ever, but at the end of the day, if you're not following God the way you should, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
And it's not impossible. It's people think that it's impossible, that you're asking too much. No, we're not asking we're not asking at all. Let me start there. It's His expectation. It's His desire. We're created to worship Him. And I've preached this before and I've heard it many, many times. So it's not, I don't think it's copyrighted, but we're wanting full-time benefits on a part-time relationship, and that's not godly. He's not going to bless us if we're only wanting to do church half the time. And it's you see more and more in that. I'm not going to be negative, but you're seeing more and more of that mentality, theology. I believe now more than ever, and it's so hard to get out of that. So,
yeah, I mean, like he was just saying, I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, we do still have lives. Like, contrary to popular belief, anybody in ministry still does have a life. Because if they didn't, I mean, trust me, there would be burnout. We do have lives. We still do go do things we want to do. The difference is we don't do things that we shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just preached a message on Sunday night about living in glass houses and, perception being reality and all these different things. You have to live the life of a Christian. You have to make sure that you're not doing things that a Christian shouldn't do. But you can do that and still have a fun life.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's not impossible to be a Christian and not have fun and not have a fulfilling life.
I'm the coolest guy I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that, really.
You're not going to agree.
I mean, I know some pretty cool people. But, so, I mean, let's just get into...
Strike one.
Well, that's actually a good transition. Because we've talked a lot about church. We've talked a lot about being a Christian. We've talked a lot about how you should live the life of a Christian, how it's not impossible. But let's get into some stories. And I've been trying to keep away from this because the longer the better, because I already know where some of this is going to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and give the audience a warning now. This is going to be some stuff that, well, I mean, it's going to be on the internet forever. So we'll just see where it goes. But I'll let you have the first story. So what is a moment in church where you've had to try not to laugh?
There's been several moments down through the years. But one recent is I was at a church service here very recently, and the pastor was up preaching. He got carried away because he always gets carried away. And all of a sudden, the loudest, most obnoxious snort you've ever heard. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord, do I laugh? Do I cry? What do we do? The problem is it was me that did it. So I'm standing in front of all the people on live stream with a microphone in my hand, and I'm sitting there thinking, did I just do that? I just did that. So I did the only one thing that I knew I could do, make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
So I told them, and I quote, if I need to sound like Porky Pig to make some of y'all move, I will. So that was how I covered up the most laughable spot that I've ever had. I just knew that I was going to get a lot of laughter because I snorted in the middle of preaching. They did laugh, but they waited until I threw the punchline in. So that's how good our church family is here and how much they love their pastor.
Well, the bad thing about it is, for some people, that might have been the only part of the sermon they heard. Yeah. And I was thinking, it just now hit me, it would have been really fitting if you had been preaching about like the prodigal son or something like that when he was in the pig pen. Like, it would have been like super fitting. So next time you ever preach on that scripture, maybe you can...
I don't know that I will probably snort. I've been doing that here a lot lately. I don't know. But, yeah. There was another time that there was many years ago that we was in the middle of service. You know how you have services to where it's almost like just the way the Spirit goes. And even me when I'm preaching, there's like highs and lows, right? There'll be times I'm like, and then there's times like I'm more, well, just so happened in one of the peaks and valleys, like I call it, you're, and then you kind of, where there's more of a, you heard.
Yeah, it's getting serious.
You heard a, someone tooted. And they tooted in a way that everybody heard it. So in the middle of church, when someone toots, I like to get close to the microphone, toots, you don't know what to do. It's an instant you want to laugh. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But you're in the middle of church.
You're behind the mic in front of everybody.
I don't know that I was even behind. I think I was in the audience then.
See, I can't remember who was preaching. The reason why I can't remember who was preaching is because the person that let off this flatulence was me.
He tooted. And everybody heard it.
So I just want to say, now that the entire world has heard the story
He tooted.
in church, where everybody could hear at a quiet part, where, I'm really hoping that my toot didn't hinder somebody from like going to the altar or something, because I guess their blood's now on my hands because but anyways, I can't be the only person on earth that's ever done that.
Getting up there to the pearly gates and saying, I was going to go, but some guy tooted in the middle of service.
Yeah.
I was going to pray, Lord. I didn't, because this guy, no, I don't think, I think your conscience can be clear.
I can't be the only one that's done it. In fact, I know for a fact I'm not the only one that's done it. However, I'm probably the only one who's willing to admit it. That's A. And B, I have to admit it because it was so loud the whole church heard it.
Let me preface it this, and it may be in some of the bloopers that we was doing. He did not want to admit it. Don't let him fool you.
No.
We was going to bring it up.
We're not.
And I told him I was going to say tooted a lot.
See,
Tooted.
the issue is now, before this podcast started, yes, I did say that we should not put this on the podcast, and I did say that I should not admit to it. However, my conscience has gotten the best of me, and even though we're not Catholic, I believe that I should confess about this and just get it out of the way. Yes, it was me. To anybody out there watching, it was me. There's people that were there that night that know it's me. But guess what? You're probably not so innocent either. If you're being honest with yourself, you've done it too.
I wonder how many toots goes on in an average service in
Now,
America.
that's a good question.
That's on the next podcast, episode 2. How many times have you tooted in church?
We'll do a survey. We'll do a survey on Sunday, and we'll bring back the answer in episode 2
That's hilarious.
on how many people have tooted, let off gas, or whatever you want, whatever term you want to use here.
Oh, no. We got to say tooted.
But how many people in an average church service do that? And I think you'd be surprised. I'm up there singing behind the mic for worship, and like
toot in church?
I'm up there singing behind the mic during worship, and like there's sometimes you'll get a little whiff of something, and I'm not sure if it's the woman sitting at the piano in front of me.
That would be Felicia Thurman.
Or the guitar player beside me, or the bass player, or the guy singing beside me.
That would be Rick Tinsley.
Or somebody in the choir. Sometimes it's me, I'll be honest.
The choir's too far away. You would never... No.
I don't know. There's some people in that choir where I feel like I could carry.
Wow. So if next time you see us and there's nobody in the choir, he just offended all of our worship leaders, worship team.
No, I didn't say who. Not mentioning names.
You just said that some of y'all look like that y'all would carry a toot all the way across the pulpit.
Well, they can carry a tune, so they can carry a toot too. So
how did we get here?
Look, I'm going to the next funny story. We're moving on past it. Well, I've done confessed.
He didn't want to.
I've done confessed to the entire congregation and the entire world about
he didn't want to
how this happened. I do want to add, this was before I was in leadership and before I was youth pastor. I do think that makes a difference.
Well, just because you're youth pastor doesn't mean you don't toot.
Yeah, that's true.
Youth pastors and pastors toot.
Everybody toots. However, I feel like now, that I'm held to a higher regard, that I could refrain. But one of the funny stories I want to tell, and of course, it ain't gonna be like that story where I mention names, but one time.
I may. Go ahead.
Well, one time we had a preacher that was preaching here, and we're all watching the message, go down. And next thing we know, somebody in the congregation had noticed this man's fly was down. His pants were unzipped. And, not that you want to know something like that's going on during the preaching right in front of you, but like, you also know there's a live stream going on. There's 75 people here that can see it at least. And we had people in the back trying to get his attention and act like they were zipping their pants up, and it never caught on because this preacher is known for, he preaches hard with his eyes closed the entire time. So he would never know that people were trying to tell him his pants were unzipped. And since I've heard that story, and I know how embarrassing that must have been for him, he might not even know that it happened to this day. But every time before I get on stage or preach or sing in worship, I will go off somewhere and I will make sure my pants are zipped every single time.
That is, yes, it brings up a very good point. I could not tell you how many times that, especially when I get up and I'm behind the pulpit, that I do ensure that everything
Yeah, because, I mean, once you're up there, it's over. You can't, there's no fixing
Oh, yeah,
it.
there's no.
So this leads to a different question on, have you ever said anything preaching or done anything preaching that you instantly regretted or were instantly embarrassed by other than the snort? Or there's none you can think of right off the top of your head? I mean, it's probably hard to think about.
Anybody that's been here or anybody that's ever watched, or if you do watch some of our programs, there's probably not a service that don't go by that I don't say something silly. I make up words a lot. I think one time I said crap.
Yeah?
I just said it again. That was I shouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess there is certain words you probably shouldn't use while preaching.
I don't think that's part of the pastoral ethics book.
But also, I mean, if you're just into it, I mean, you're just letting them have it, and it just came out.
This last Sunday, I said bull.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
Did not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is times where you get into it, and you're just preaching away, and you're trying to preach what God gave you, and then all of a sudden, like, you'll say something, and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't have worded it like that.
That is why that a clean mouth 24/7 is important.
Yes.
Because if I use bad words, and I don't, and you can ask anybody that don't go to church that's out there, I don't, a lot of people, especially in this area, they want, well, it's a 4-letter word. Honey, I don't use 4-letter words, because if I use them a lot out there, it's going to come out up there, because what is in the mind will come out. I mean, crap is not good.
No. I mean,
bull is probably not good.
Yeah, there's just certain words you shouldn't use while preaching.
Well, yeah.
I don't think you were wrong or offended anybody in our church especially, but I do think there probably certain things you shouldn't say.
And I've even watched some people, I mean, that some preachers, like I've seen little clips where they'll use, the word hell, obviously if you're talking about the place, but, I've even heard it used other ways. I'm like, you're towing the line.
Yep.
I think you actually fell over it, and I don't ever want to be that, and that's why I'm really, again, I always say, preface it, that I'm not perfect, but one thing I don't ever want to do, I don't know, you just got to make sure that you have good communication at all times. But I would say that's probably the two that come to mind that would probably was like, I should have.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
And we'll talk more about this in NetSuite's podcast, which you'll be seeing this sometime July 7th-ish. And episode 2, we'll talk more about this, about how I think it's important that my wife, she hears a lot of my sermon and a lot of my preaching before I ever bring it to the congregation.
That's why she's back here asleep trying to get out.
Yeah. Well, there's times where I'll know that I'm preaching, Sunday night or Wednesday night or whatever the night is, and we're getting ready for church, or it's the night before, and I'm in the shower, and she's getting, fixing her hair, and I'm preaching in the shower, preaching to her about all these things, and I'll say something a certain way, and she'll stop me, and she's like, hey, maybe when you're behind the pulpit, maybe don't word it that way. And we'll get into next week about how, in ministry you preach at home and your spouses have to hear it. And
next week we have to behave because our wives are here. Actually, one of our wives, his wife is here now, but she's not in front of the camera. But my wife will be here.
She's going to have some stories.
Yeah, probably.
She's going to have some stories that I got a feeling on NetSuite's podcast, I'm going to have to do a whole lot more editing than I did on this one, because there's going to be some stories there where I might have to
she said
take out some stuff.
Yeah, she said something one time. I can't remember what she said. She said something pretty recently. I'm like, she's pretty blunt.
Yeah. So speaking of things you shouldn't say behind the pulpit, not that she's ever said anything wrong or bad or anything like that. She's not that kind of person. But let's just say there might have to be some editing on this week's podcast. We'll just leave it at that. So this leads to a segment of our podcast that I'm going to be doing every episode. And I'm actually really excited about this segment. It is called The Top 3.
Uh-oh.
So every week we are going to get into 3 things that are in our personal top 3 and just talk about them. It might be movies, it might be places we visited, it might be things, it might be foods, it might be candy. Who knows? But tonight, if you could only eat 3 foods the rest of your life, and this includes desserts, what would they be?
And that's the only 3 foods that the rest of my life, I'm only going to eat these 3 foods.
That's all you can eat for the rest of your life. You get 3 foods. And think about this too, like, I mean, you've got breakfast, you've got lunch, you've got dinner. So like if you choose 3 like lunch and dinner options, you have no breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast. So that's no big deal for me. I'm not a breakfast, I just don't eat breakfast. That's tough, like, because fried potatoes comes to mind immediately because I love me some fried potatoes.
You can eat it with anything.
Yeah, it goes with anything, but
you
got to have protein.
And you only have 2 foods it can go with, so.
No,
We say it can go with anything, but also like
pizza.
In this situation, you
can eat pizza and fried potato. You can go with anything.
Yeah. So we got fried potatoes on your list.
That's one.
Okay.
I got to have protein.
Okay.
But I just don't know. I mean, I like steak, but not all the time. I like chicken, but I mean, it's hard. I would have to say probably. I think the safe route would be just a chicken tender.
Okay. Are we going grilled or fried, or do you think you get both? I mean,
I think it's in the
we
category.
didn't set rules. I think you get both.
I think get both. I would probably lean more towards the grilled and sprinkle in fried every once in a while, just mix it up. And a dessert, I'm not outside of ice cream. I don't cakey pies. I love pie. Do I want pie every day?
I mean, that's a tough one. Do we have to specify the pie? I mean, it's hard to pick one dessert.
I would say if I had to live, I would fried chicken or chicken strip, tender, whatever, fried and grilled, alternate, fried potatoes, and I guess to not have a sweet the rest of your life would be really rough.
You got to have something.
I would have to go with butter pecan ice cream.
Butter pecan ice cream. I like that call. So you got chicken tenders, grilled or fried, alternating, which I think is a good call. And then you've got
maybe breaking a rule.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
It's actually 4.
Yeah.
There's a grilled chicken.
It's a chicken tender.
It's chicken tender.
Then you've got butter pecan ice cream, and you've got fried potatoes. All right. I'm a pickier eater, so this isn't terribly hard for me.
He is.
Number 1, without a doubt, roast beef Manhattan.
But I'm going to interject here. That's 5 different meals in one.
That is a food.
Yeah.
It's all together. You've got the bread, you've got the potatoes, you've got the beef, and you've got the gravy. It all comes together. But
your list is done.
I mean,
That's not me saying, let me get 16 of my favorite meals, put it in a bowl, mix it up, and there's my one.
Okay, let's give me roast beef. Can I get roast beef?
You can get roast beef, but you can't have potatoes and bread and gravy.
I'll take roast beef.
Okay.
Roast beef. And
That's
then
your protein.
roast beef. It's what I need. Specifically made by my dad's mom. Mama. Shout out to her. Anyways.
Good cook.
Number 2. We're talking about desserts, how it would be terrible to go without anything sweet the rest of your life. I'm going with simple chocolate ice cream.
Not bad.
Simple chocolate ice cream because, like, I'm thinking about this too. Like, when I go to the beach and, like, my whole family's at the ice cream shop and I'm only allowed 3 foods the rest of my life, like, I'm really going to want some chocolate ice cream.
Ooh, I just now thought strawberry cheesecake ice cream may up. Now I have to take butter. Go ahead.
So chocolate ice cream. And then number 3, and I was talking to a guy at work about this today because I was telling him about our podcast. And I'm not sure, this might be breaking a rule too. It's almost like your fried or grilled situation. Like, what if I just said, like, pizza? Oh, do I have to?
You only eat one kind of pizza.
Or do I? Well, see what I'm saying? I mean, I do like sausage pizza every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, I do like pepperoni. Like, meat lovers is fine. Cheese is fine. Like, do I have to specify the pizza?
I would say because, you probably.
Okay.
Probably.
So, so this is going to tell the audience a little bit about how I think. I'm just going to go with, like, meat lovers pizza. Because even though I like pepperoni or like cheese better, I'm just going to go with meat lovers. And,
choose.
Then whenever I'm, like, you're not wanting sausage or ham that day, I'll just take it off. I'll just pick it off.
Pizza. I'm not. Renee's would be pizza. She's a pizza. Like, if we go on vacation, she's got to find a pizza joint. I like pizza.
That's a whole other story in itself.
But I don't want, no. I could live without pizza.
See, that's hard to believe for me. Because, like...
Is that a fat joke?
No, that's not a fat joke at all. I'm just saying, like, how could you not like Pizza. Not. I mean, you like pizza. I know what I'm saying, but like, how could it not be on your list? Because like,
I just don't. I mean, it's not. I mean, I grew up on the farm. I'm more of a fried potato. Like we went to Pizza Hut once every 6 months. Thought we was all that. Like we grew up on fried potatoes and.
yeah.
I'm more of a. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I guess it's because like every time we have like me and my wife are like, we have get-togethers at our house all the time. We love doing that. It's like we have a get-together, we're watching a game, or like if we're having a game night, or we're sitting on the back deck watching TV. Like pizza's like a go-to a lot of times because like you order it, it's easy.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, yeah.
I'm just a big pizza fan.
It's easy. Like that's why Renee, she's pizza. Yeah. Like I don't like some people can eat pizza and like eat cold pizza and the next day like just get it off the counter. No. I can eat pizza, and it's usually, according to where it's from, I'm usually a 2-piece pizza type of person. And I am fat, so maybe 3 if the pizza's really good. But outside of that, like I can eat pizza today, which I didn't, and then not do pizza for another 3 months.
Yeah.
Easily.
See, me and my roommate in college, we had these little cards we could spend on campus. We had a Papa John's. And we would go get Papa John's like all the time. And of course, if you've heard some crazy college stories where, you know, like, hey, you're on a budget, like, you're trying to, like, eat as cheap as you can. So, like, the pizza wouldn't fit in our mini fridge because, like, it's a mini fridge. It ain't going to fit, especially the whole box. We didn't have any containers to put it in because we're cheap. So, like, we would set the box on top of the fridge, and the next morning we'd have breakfast, you know? Like, yeah. I'd walk out the door on the way to my 8 a.m. class and, like, grab a slice of sausage pizza off the top of the fridge.
I think the worst thing is cold pizza, nope. If after that meal's done, it's trash for me.
So that's gonna have to be a future segment, by the way. And the top 3 is our top 3 favorite pizzas. We'll have to get into that. I might do that one next week because Sister Renee would love that. But it might be tough for her too because she likes like all pizza. But this leads to our next segment. I don't know if you've got a person, place, or thing for us, but you might be able to just tell us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah.
It's gone but not forgotten.
So we put this podcast together, and this is something that I really wanted to do, and I thought it'd be fitting to just incorporate it in our podcast here. Again, a little segment. So we go gone but not forgotten. So I'm going to try to hit this one up, and it's just things that it could be a person that. Again, we like to say graduated, but that's gone on to be with Jesus. That how they was impactful in our life. It may be a place like kind of what started this was driving down the road, and there was these old grocery stores was out in the middle of the communities. They was where everybody met and everybody got their goods. Before the Walmarts come in the world and all that stuff. A lot of them are still standing, but they're closed. So, Lord willing, if I find time, I want to. Try to introduce some of those. There's some, a handful. Some is still open, and I'm not talking about convenience stores. I'm talking like old school grocery stores. I know one that I want to do is pretty soon, but I won't call it out because I got to go get permission. But there'll be some of that. We'll share some pictures and stuff. And then it could be things too. So what I want to do tonight is I remember this from when I was a child. But I am like 150 years older than this kid over here.
Yeah, this is really going to show his age, this segment.
Yes, it is 100% going to show my age. I got so excited a couple years ago. I think we was in Panama. Or we might have been going through St. Augustine. Either way, it doesn't matter. There's a restaurant that used to be in Bowling Green. I remember this from when I was a kid, like a real little kid. It closed like even when I was 10, so I'd been 90-ish, early 90s. It was called Po Folks. And I don't know if you're watching, but it's called, and there's actually some in Florida. Could look it up, but I didn't.
I'll add some pictures of Po Folks because I have no idea what he's talking about. But I'll try to find some pictures and some menu items, things like that, and we'll post those on the video for you to see.
I remember it was so distinctive. I remember I liked the food. And I remember they had some big old biscuits, and their biscuits were awesome. And I don't remember anything else. I remember they had the old school white and red checkered tablecloths, and I'm pretty sure they had the old mason jar mugs that you drank out of. Don't quote me on that, but I remember it was. It was in Bowling Green. It was on Main Strip. I think. Don't quote me on this either, but I'm pretty sure it was on a corner. What is now the corner of Campbell Lane and Scottsville Road, about where that Walgreens, I think it's a Walgreens, or the Smoky Bones, which is closed again. It used to be in that area. I could be wrong. Again, this is 35-something years ago. And we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we didn't eat there quite frequently. But I remember eating there some. If my dad ever watched this, he's probably going to say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I remember Po Folks. It may have only ate there 2 or 3 times, but I remember it was
Po Folks ate at Po Folks.
Po Folks. P.O. Folks. You know, it's a Southern thing. We was Po Folks eating at Po Folks.
Yeah. So do you remember like any of the items on the menu besides the biscuits?
The biscuits. It's biscuits. What else could? You don't need to be anything else.
I mean,
biscuits. I'm pretty sure Angels was flying down with the biscuit beams of light.
So when you seen this one in Panama, St. Augustine, whatever, did you stop and like eat there?
No. You know why?
I already know the reason.
Because the one that next to me,
yeah,
my wife, she was raised in the country. Me and her had this argument all the time. Debate, not argument. She was raised in the country. Her granny could throw down and cook. Her mama could cook. She grew up on country food.
Yep.
Taters, green beans.
Cornbread.
Oh, all of it. But I cannot get her to go eat at country cooking.
Yeah.
No. She wants to eat at a seafood place. She wants to eat at a pizza place. She wants to eat at a steakhouse.
But I kind of get it.
You can't get her to go eat 2 things. Buffet, and she don't like country cooking.
I kind of get it. Because me and my dad were having this conversation the other day about country cooking and like best places to get country cooking. And he was talking about how they don't eat out country cooking because like it's something they would rather fix at home. Like when they think of home country cooking, they think of eating it like at their dining room table.
Yeah.
They feel like they can fix it better. They have the garden, they have the cattle. Like
I get that. That's kind of her argument, and I will put. I mean, her cooking's awesome, obviously. But at the same time, like when we go, like okay, we love going to Smoky Mountains. I ain't been in 2 or 3 years, but I love going to Smoky Mountains. And part of the Smoky Mountains was the country cooking.
Yes.
Whether it's go Apple Barn or Mama's Farmhouse. She won't go to Mama's Farmhouse. If anybody watching that's owner of that, I apologize. She will not go there. The pizza place she loves. The chop house she loves. But I'm like, you're in the Smoky Mountains. It's the epitome of
it's a country cooking town. Yeah.
No. Will not darken the door of any of them.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we used to go to Old Milk. That was her mom's favorite. And that's obviously it's kind of hard to go in there now. But that was her mother's favorite. She would go there. She likes it, but she don't like it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like she never feels like I can't remember of a place that she's like, oh my goodness, this is awesome, and it'd be country cooking.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but now you get her in a pizza place, she gets excited.
And also,
she loves chop house.
Also, too, I think another part of that is like we live in the South, so like what I'm gonna say is like we don't eat out country cooking a lot because like I can have pinto beans and cornbread at a country cooking type restaurant. However, no matter how good their pinto beans and cornbread are, they're not going to be as good as grandma's that I could drive to her house and get if I wanted to. And like maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Like
that's why it's important since you love country cooking. That's why it's important because you did marry a woman from the North. She a Yankee.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week.
We love her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so I look at her like my little girl, but she's a Yankee.
She's got some southern, I was going to say southern roots, but like she was only there a few years. She's got some southern twigs.
She's a Yankee.
Yeah. I mean, she's up north. She's up there. So
we're getting her accustomed. She's
yeah,
good.
She's good.
Can she fry potatoes?
She can fry some potatoes.
Let me tell you what she can do. She can cook some of them little golden
She can fry potatoes. I'll give her that.
They're not. They're baked.
They're fried.
They're
baked. Are they baked? Yeah, they are baked. You're right. They're baked.
Oh, I love them.
No, you're right.
Every time she don't invite me up over enough to get them, but my wife is an awesome cook. But she's tried to master them, but she cannot master them like Soren.
Yeah,
those are good.
And I will say this too, and she'll be on the podcast next week to defend herself.
Broccoli and hot sauce. She introduced me to that. Pretty fire.
The longer she's lived here, the more she's experimented with like getting into the Southern cuisine. So like now she's got to where like she can make some pretty decent sweet tea. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it's not like mama mates or like my grandpa or grandma mates. It's not. I mean, I want like a lot of sugar, and it started at like a 6 out of 10. Like we're up to like an 8 out of 10 now. Like, I mean, it's sweet tea that's drinkable.
Is she ever cooked with lard yet?
Not that I know of, but I don't watch her cook. I don't know what kind of ingredients she's using. But she's got good. But she's got good at sweet tea, and she's got pretty good at cornbread. So there's 2 things she's gotten pretty good at.
See, I think, didn't you introduce her to cornbread and beans?
Yes, we'll get into that. That is a good teaser for next week. My wife thought I was crazy because I put cornbread in my pinto beans.
Well, she met you. She knows you're crazy, but go ahead.
But that's not a crazy thing. No. That's one of the many things I do not many things. That's one of the few things I do that aren't crazy. Is pinto beans and cornbread.
I love hot sauce on pinto beans.
That's weird, but it is what it is.
I like ranch on spaghetti.
I've seen people. What's going on? We can talk about food all night. That's not a fat joke.
That's a fat joke.
He can talk about food all night. I'm fine with moving on. Anyways, So we've talked about our gone but not forgotten segment. We've talked about our top 3 segments. So in the comments, if you've made it this far in the video, you might have not made it past the funny stories and all that stuff because I wouldn't blame you. But anyways, hopefully you have.
I bet you did. But like when I said he tooted.
But hopefully you have. So in the comments, tell us about a place that is gone but forgotten or anything of that nature. And also, tell us your top 3 foods if you'd only have the rest of your life. What would they be? 3 foods you could only have the rest of your life. So now we're going to get into our last few segments. We're going to get into our gym update. So we're building a gym here at church, but it's more than a gym, and I'll let the pastor get into details of that.
So building a gymnasium is called Sanctuary Safe Haven. It's more of a, I'm careful to call it a community center. It's definitely open for the community. Mm-hmm. It's a place to where the kids can come. We're going to open it, have open gym a couple of nights, 3 to 4 times a month, for them to come off the street, if you will, and to come and share the love of Jesus, and we'll have a basketball. Eventually, we hope to have a game room as well, but we're going to start off with basketball court for sure. Feed them some chicken nuggets, macaroni and cheese. That's what I famously say all the time. But we're making some strides. We've just started, as you were perhaps seeing this. Again, we plan on release this on July 7th. Hopefully, we're further along. But today, as of June 16th, when we're taping this, we have just now got the equipment, and we're digging our footers, which is huge. We see dirt, so that's awesome. And then got a couple holes for the perk test for the septic that they'll be covered up after they test it tomorrow. So we're making some headways and got the permits and all the building permits and all that fun red tape stuff that I didn't even know existed. We've been doing that the last couple of days. Hired our plumber today. So we're super excited, and we hope to see, and then hopefully we can show you some pictures after probably episode 2 or episode 3 of more of what we got. Right now it's just dirt.
I mean, I can add in, I'll add in some pictures. I'll eventually add in what the gym's going to look like and different things like that. But as youth pastor, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great thing for the kids. And if any of your kids or adults are out there want to take me on in basketball, like, I'm your guy. I mean, I'm super competitive. He might not be as competitive nowadays. I mean, him and his wife have been known to break legs and everything else trying to play sports with the kids. But no, I'm there for any kind of a competition and fun. So we'll go ahead and close out. We'll get into our devotion and our little scripture. We're gonna close with that. And so what's the scripture for today? It was Romans 11:5.
Romans 11:5. I mentioned it a while ago when we talked about Remnant. 11:5 is, get my eyes going. It's okay. Even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to election of grace. The God is coming back soon, very soon, for a remnant of people.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who wants to claim it, but there's not a lot of people who wants to live it. And if you get anything out of this, I hope that you're one that is looking forward to His coming, that is striving every day that you want to be part of the remnant. And if you're not part, cheap shot here, you're not part of a remnant or a part of a church, we would love to have you. We'll share, probably, I'm sure he'll share the address at some point on our podcast and stuff like that. So that's our devotion. Had fun.
Yeah, I mean,
episode 1.
Woo! Started out a little bit shaky. We got to the funny stories, loosened up a bit.
I was fine. Never mind.
I was a nervous wreck. I'll just leave it at that. But no, we thank you for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this first podcast. There's going to be a lot more where that came from, more funny stories, more testimony, more things you'll love to hear. But until next time, this has been Stories from the Remnant. Hope you enjoy it. Please like, follow, and share our page, and we'll see you next time.